For many first-time buyers, the price of so-called gaming peripherals will likely be a bit daunting because, let's be real, there are a ton of options out there that feature RGB lighting, dedicated media playback buttons, extra programmable macros, extensive software suites, and the list just goes on. But what about folks who don't want or need any of these add-ons? Or they would rather prefer more simple, inexpensive, no-nonsense peripherals that would still feature a few gaming-centric add-ons. I think Cooler Master has something for you.
The Dark Base 900 may be the most innovative case of the year with a built-in Qi charger, interior lighting, tempered glass that can be installed on either side, and a fully modular interior that can be inverted if you so desire. Be quiet. Stepping up their game, check it out in the description below.
What I have here is a new combo pack from Cooler Master. They call it the MasterKeys Lite Combo RGB, which contains both a keyboard and a mouse. It's priced at $60, which is similar to the price point of the Octane gear that was featured last year on the channel, and it can also be considered a more advanced version of Cooler Master's iconic Devastator combo. One of the most interesting additions to this combo are the so-called mem-chanical switches that Cooler Master uses on the keyboard. Mechanical switches are all the rage these days switches, and they come in different forms like Cherry MX, Gatoron, Kale, Topra, and the list goes on. Mem-chanical, on the other hand, aims to replicate the feel of true mechanical switches without the associated price premium. With this in mind, one of my first goals here is to find out if the mem-chanical switches are any good. Getting to the basics, the keyboard switches function with 3 stages. The tactile dome foundation at the bottom provides tactile feedback with minimal noise level. On top of that sits the steady support housing that holds the keycaps, and finally, the transparent plunger that allows the LED lighting to shine through. Sounds simple, right? Taking a look at a true mechanical switch, in this case Cherry MX Blue, there are a lot of more components working together to get the satisfying actuation and linear feedback. These switches are more durable and my personal favorites. I have to admit, Cooler Master has done a pretty good job with their mem-chanical switches. My first impressions were that I was typing on a plastic switch because of the sound it produces. Let's take a listen. Key travel is present and minimal force is required for actuations to take place. Furthermore, I noticed if I pressed the key about 90% down, it wouldn't register until I give it an extra push because the plunger has to hit the tactile dome located at the base. Whereas on a mechanical keyboard, when the key is pressed about 50% down, it registers right away. Now with normal typing force, I didn't experience any skip keys while writing the script or gaming, except on a few occasions if I need to access certain weapons. Pressing the appropriate key while focusing on movement within a game could be tough, so remember to fully press the key. The life cycle on these switches are set to be about 12 million, which is almost a quarter of the expected life cycle of a traditional Cherry MX mechanical switch. It won't make a huge difference at the beginning, but they will eventually start to wear out over time. But on the positive side, these switches are water resistant, and that will avoid all possibilities of water damage compared to a mechanical keyboard. This also brings me to the next point: programming. For example, the Corsair Strafe RGB has dedicated driver software where you can assign multiple profiles which can be accessed right away, whether that's in-game or while doing something more productive. The MasterKeys Lite, on the other hand, doesn't come with any driver software, so programmable keys are completely out of the question, but at least in-game assignment is an alternative option. It's 2016, so RGB is slowly starting to emerge into budget gaming market. This keyboard happens to feature RGB with built-in backlit control effects like speed, area, and the direction. All of these can be accessed via the function key. This is what actually differentiates it from the regular MasterKeys Lite. The lighting is consistent throughout the board, only when you look at it from a top angle. Otherwise, as you can see, light struggles to shine through the keycaps because the LEDs are embedded within the circuit board that's underneath the rubber dome. Given how transparent these layers are, light bounces back and forth to produce the nice ambience within the keys, but compared to the Strafe RGB, and it's another story. The multimedia controls are built into the function keys and there is a Windows lock button, but that's about it. If you want dedicated macro buttons or other features, you should be looking elsewhere. The body is fairly well built, and given the thick plastic chassis, there was noticeable flex, but it's nothing to be worried about. Cooler Master hasn't cut too many corners to make a properly functioning keyboard. You get adjustable razors to angle the keyboard at your convenience. The UV-coated keycaps are compatible with Cherry MX stems, and I like the texture on these. There is a dedicated numpad for those who work with a lot of numbers, and overall, I think you're getting a solid package for the price. As for the included mouse, it's lightweight and features the Avago 3050 optical sensor that can only go up to 2000 dpi, which for many would be enough for basic gaming and casual use. The size is a bit too small for my hands, and it's not ambidextrous, which is a bit odd given this is a combo that targets beginners. Cooler Master should have made it accessible to many people as possible. There are 6 buttons, including the primary left and right, forward and backward on the left side, scroll wheel button, and a DPI shift button behind it. The 10M Omron switches provide excellent tactile feedback, and it doesn't require a lot of pressure to press. I was surprised at how well defined the scroll steps were, and to be honest, I enjoyed gaming on it as well. It had excellent tracking, just like my Avior 7000. There are 2 lighting zones, one on the scroll wheel and the transparent ring at the bottom, but the luminosity isn't consistent throughout. You can tell that there is a single LED light housed within the shell rather than multiple lighting zones, and you can change the lighting effects by pressing the DPI shift button and the right click button. And so my concluding thoughts on the MasterKeys Lite from Cooler Master is that you're getting a fantastic all-in-one package for $60. The keyboard is far superior than a typical membrane keyboard, and while it does feel like typing on plastic switches, there is proper key travel distance and close to perfect tactile feedback. It's certainly not going to replace a standard mechanical keyboard or my White Fox, because I'm spoiled by mechanical switches, and you won't experience the durability and the perfectly tactile response that comes out of these guys. The included mouse surprised me in a lot of ways too. For one, the sensor is accurate and I love it. The Omron switches are excellent, and given the light body, it should complement well with the keyboard. Would I recommend this combo to someone looking to build their first gaming PC? Absolutely, though for veteran gamers, it may be a bit too basic. My question for you guys is that how has mechanical keyboards affected your daily computing and gaming experience? Can you live without a mechanical keyboard, even though that sounds a little bit awkward? And what do you guys think about the MasterKeys Lite from Cooler Master? Looking forward to the comments. I'm Ibar with Canucks. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.